preferred legal mechanism for securing the delivery of affordable homes. However, changes to Homes England funding requirements now prevent the use of Section 106 agreements to deliver affordable homes, where Homes England provide funding to deliver affordable homes that are in addition to the Council's planning policy requirement. This is except where all the homes on a site are to be delivered as affordable homes. So in other words, where a developer is seeking to provide, say, a 10% increase in the number of affordable homes than is our planning policy requirement, these additional affordable homes are unable to be included in a Section 106 agreement if they are to be delivered using the Homes England grant funding. So where the Planning Committee resolution sets out that all the affordable homes are to be delivered through a Section 106 agreement, one legal's advice is that there is no ability for officers to enter into alternative legal agreements. This, therefore, has the potential to create a barrier where the delivery of any additional affordable homes cannot be set out
Sorry, can we just ask you to stop for a minute? Councillor Chambers has just come in. Can I ask you to begin again? Thank you.
I was thinking, yeah, in a nice way. Got some spare paper, Oliver, please.
Chair, through you, can I just check? We've dealt with declarations of interest. Councillor Chambers, any declarations?
No, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, sir. I'll start again then. So this report is a generic technical report that doesn't relate to any specific planning case or cases, and it concerns the continued ability for the Council to secure the delivery of affordable housing as set out in Planning Committee resolutions. Currently, where affordable homes are required to be delivered as part of any housing development, the Planning Committee resolution sets out that the affordable homes will be included in a Section 106 legal agreement, along with any other planning contributions, for example, the requirement to deliver public open space and so on. The use of Section 106 agreements is a proven legal mechanism that ensures the delivery of planning contributions and is the Council's preferred legal mechanism for securing the delivery of affordable homes. However, changes to Homes England funding requirements now prevent the use of Section 106 agreements, where Homes England provide funding to deliver affordable homes that are in addition to the planning policy requirement, except where all the homes on a particular site are to be delivered as affordable homes. In other words, where the developer seeks to provide, say, an additional 10% increase to the number of affordable homes than is the planning policy requirement, these additional affordable homes are unable to be included within a Section 106 agreement if they are delivered using Homes England grant funding. So where the Planning Committee resolution sets out that all the affordable homes are to be delivered through a Section 106 agreement, one legal's advice is that there is no ability for officers to enter into any form of alternative legal agreement. This therefore creates a barrier where the delivery of any additional affordable homes, so the additional affordable homes on top of the planning policy requirement, cannot be set out in the Section 106 agreement. And there is a risk, therefore, that the whole scheme may not be able to be delivered. The resolutions set out in the report before committee this evening are to firstly enable existing planning committee resolutions to be expanded so that alternative legal agreements may be used to secure the delivery of affordable homes. This will ensure that any existing schemes where the delivery of affordable homes exceeds the planning policy requirement, an alternative legal agreement may be used to secure those additional affordable homes if required, in addition to a Section 106 agreement that will include the affordable homes that meet the planning policy requirement. The second resolution before committee is to amend future planning committee resolutions and planning consents, so that where necessary, alternative legal agreements may be entered into in addition to a Section 106 agreement. Thank you, Chair.
As I said. So we go straight to members' questions. Are there any members who'd like to ask questions relevant to this report? Councillor Trace, Councillor Leaderhold.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not at all objecting to this, but I just wanted to understand the consequences of doing this or not doing it, and also how many of our recent planning applications would have been affected by something like this. Is it common practice for more than the required minimum affordable houses to be included in an application? I'm aware of some where we've gone for 100%, but I'm not aware of any where we've gone above the minimum requirement.
So we are always trying to encourage developers and our registered providers to provide as many affordable homes as is possible on individual sites, because the delivery of affordable housing is a key priority for the council. So we're expecting to see more cases where we could have these barriers provided because of the way that Homes England have changed their grant funding for the latest round of funding. So I don't have any details at the moment of the number of schemes that may or may not be affected, but it's something that we are anticipating we're likely to come across. In terms of the impact, if we are unable to deliver the legal agreements in accordance with the planning committee resolution, the legal advice that we have been provided is that, you know, the scheme would not be able to continue full stop.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions, Councillor James?
Yeah, I just wondered how many other councils are facing similar situations, and is this their preferred option to improve the situation?
Other councils will be experiencing the same challenges because the Homes England funding requirements relate to the whole of the country. I'm not aware of any specific cases elsewhere in terms of other authorities that are doing made similar suggestions to their planning committee. And I think every committee resolution set out in each authority is likely to be different anyway. So they may not have the same barrier that we face in terms of the specificity of our planning committee resolutions.
So I'm not quite, in fact, I've got no idea why this change is taking place now. What's happened? Is there a change in legislation? Have we, so Andy, do you have the answer? Have I missed something?
Yes,
Really?
the England Home Funded.
No, but we've always relied on Homes England for funding, and we've always relied on Section 106. So what I'm trying to understand is what's changed? Why are we having to review the way we deal with 106 and Homes England finances, resources, sorry? What's changed? Why are we talking about this tonight? And why not?
So the change is to do with the way that Homes England deliver their strategic grant funding to registered providers. So the latest funding round has included a specific requirement that any funding that delivers additional affordable homes on top of the planning policy requirement cannot be secured by way of a Section 106 agreement. So that is how Homes England are delivering their funding through the registered providers. So this isn't a council created issue, so to speak, but what it does create is it creates a set of circumstances whereby if we continue to have planning committee resolutions that require all of the affordable homes within a development to be delivered or secured by way of a Section 106 agreement, then registered providers are potentially unable to deliver those schemes because they have a separate funding agreement that says they can't deliver those homes if they are secured through a Section 106 agreement.
Go trying to understand what's going on. So what prompted Homes England to change the way they deal with the finance side of things? What prompted that? That's what I don't get. We've been working with Homes England previously, haven't we? It's not been an issue. In fact, we've been pretty chuffed when we've had extra affordable homes as the result of that combination. So Homes England's obviously funded by central government. So is this a government edict to Homes England to get them to change the way they distribute their funds? I just don't get what's prompted it. Maybe somebody can help me. I just don't understand it. Why this afternoon, this evening, are we talking about this whereas we weren't before Christmas? It's the directive coming from Homes England. Are they saying to us, this is how we will work when you're using 106 money?
So yeah, this is Homes England's grant funding requirements.
And when was that notified to us? Sorry to interrupt you. When did we find out about that? Or is it something looking at our systems?
So we have become aware of it talking to registered providers who have strategic funding agreements with Homes England. So it's something that we've been made aware of by the work that we do with our registered provider partners. And you know, I'm not aware of the reasons behind the changes from a Homes England perspective, but it's clear that we need to align what we do in order to maximise the delivery of affordable homes in Gloucester.
Okay. So if you just bear with me just a little bit more. If it's the case that Homes England are telling the registered providers, this is the score and you can't you're not required to provide 106 on top and the rest of it, why don't we go back to Homes England and say, as a planning committee, we're not quite sure we like this scheme. What's the score here, please? Why can't we ask them to say, what's prompted you to do this? Because it's not working to the benefit of Gloucester City, it's working to the detriment. Just one of our, sort of nice emails that I send to people.
We can look to engage with Homes England. We have a dialogue with Homes England on a number of matters. I'm not sure that we would necessarily get the outcome that we would want in the speed that we may need it, though. That's my only concern.
There's a chance that we won't get what we want, but at least we'll have registered our disquiet to Homes England and said, well, why are you dealing with this now? In the new year, what has changed in the way you work? And will you reconsider? Because as far as Gloucester City goes, this is not going to be very helpful. I'm just interested to understand what has prompted Homes England to change the way they work. Sorry to labour this, but it's a fundamental change in the way we operate. And as a former lead member for housing, I know just how reliant we are and how much we need as much 106 and Homes England money we can leverage into Gloucester. So I think a letter from this committee doesn't have to be, pages long, just saying, we met, we don't like it, why are you doing it, please change it.
I'm happy to take that away.
Can I add that it's not indicative of collaborative working, is it? If the registered providers were notified by Homes England and councils weren't? It's not a good feeling going forward. That's my thought.
When we write to Homes England, we need to, I suggest, copy in the Member of Parliament as well, so that he's aware.
Yeah.
Members of Parliament. Members of Parliament. We have two.
I'm probably going to divert because a couple of questions I wrote down was more or less why now? With all the building going on earlier on last year and the year before, why wasn't this brought? And I know many times over on your side, always asking about this 106 money, 106, and I can't get my head around it now. And so what we're more or less saying, the people who provide the 106 money are the ones who we would get for affordable homes. Can you just break that down a little bit? So the 106 money, the people who provide it, that would be the builders, etc., wouldn't it? I know where I'm coming from, but I'm trying to relate round this here. Sorry, yeah.
So affordable homes are traditionally provided by registered providers, so social housing providers, the likes of Gloucester City Homes, for example. They will bring to the table some of their funding, so they will have surpluses they will generate that they will put back into the business to deliver new homes. But they are often likely to seek additional funding through Homes England, through the Homes England funding rounds. Some of the authorities have these strategic funding agreements with Homes England, and that's where this problem arises.
In material to that, like, say I build some houses, or I come here to do the planning this evening, houses, and I do grant that 106. What happens if that don't go ahead after the 3 years? Do we still keep that 106 money? If building's not been done, if we do it that way through a builder?
So if a planning consent isn't delivered within a period of time, then it will lapse. So if the developer is unable to deliver all of the requirements of the planning committee resolution, so for example, including the affordable homes for whatever reason, then that consent will lapse and the development won't happen. So the risk is that if we are unable to align our committee resolutions with the funding landscape, that we could lose out on the delivery of affordable homes across the city.
Delivery of open space, affordable homes and everything else, 106 money, do they dictate what we have in the buildings? I know it all off by heart, but I'm just asking these questions this evening, so everybody else might want to know, because you asked the question when one of them going back with that 106 money, if it wasn't built in the last 3 years, because people were promised the money, 106, and then they didn't get it in the end, and everybody seems to think, oh, we're building a house over the road, we can claim 106 money in our area. It's very confusing. It's confusing for you, isn't it?
So this is a separate issue to the provision of commuted sums within a Section 106 agreement. So that's a separate matter. This is purely about where a development is expected to deliver a certain amount of affordable homes, okay, and that those homes may not be able to be delivered if we can only use a Section 106 agreement to secure the delivery of those homes.
At least we've done our homework on it all. I mean, am I right in asking these questions?
Councillor Alistair Chambers.
Thank you, Chair. The question is sort of in layman's terms, could you list out those several positives and several negatives to the council for this going ahead? Just general positives, like what would be the benefit of the council and the local residents, and what sort of negative to the council and the local residents of this? Just in simple terms, if that's okay. Thank you.
No, that's fine. And very simply, if we have a scheme that this committee has agreed a resolution that includes an additional amount of affordable homes, there is a risk that if those affordable homes are funded by Homes England, that the developer would be unable to deliver those because the planning resolution precludes the delivery by way of a Section 106 agreement.
Thank you. So the second part to that then is obviously no one here is predetermined, and we've got a planning application coming very soon for the Podsmead site. You okay, Andy? You all right? So a large, I think 20 million is funded, off the top of my head from the presentation we had the other day, from Homes England. And there was some discussion of S106 properties in line with that as well. What would be the potential risk to the developer, the city and the residents in that situation, bearing in mind it's got a consultation this week? If you could explain what the outcome could be, positive and negative. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, can I just say, can we keep the queries hypothetical? Purely because there is a risk of members forming their mind without the full information in relation to an upcoming application. So I'll ask members to treat this as a hypothetical matter, and obviously any application will be considered on its merits with the information you have before you at that particular time. Thank you.
I haven't got to ask questions, so we best put our hands up and just go for it.
Oh no, it's basically to do that case study. So if I ask, sorry, forget about that question.
Yeah.
So a hypothetical question, just say for, I don't know, there's some land in Gloucester that potentially might be getting, I don't know, around circular, just say £20 million from Homes England, and the development, say, circular 50 million, don't know, just hypothetically, and this just was potentially happening in the area of Gloucester, and that was going to be happening, say, I don't know, hypothetically, in a very short period of time, because if not, the money might be lost by Homes England if it didn't happen, again, just hypothetically. What risk would this situation have, bearing in mind that there's affordable S106 properties in this hypothetical development, and the risk with Homes England based on this hypothetical development? Thank you.
So as I set out in my introduction, if we have a scheme where the development is proposing to deliver the 20% planning policy requirement affordable homes and say an additional 10% affordable homes, if those extra 10% affordable homes are intended to be in grant, there's a risk that if we continue as we are, that extra 10% affordable homes will not be able to be delivered, because the committee resolution won't allow it, because we are limited. So because the committee resolution limits us to using Section 106 agreements only. Because the additional affordable homes won't be delivered, it is likely that the development full stop is unable to be delivered because it all comes together. So the risk is that where we have additional affordable homes, that if we do not consider changing our approach, that we could lose all of the delivery of the affordable homes on each of those schemes.
Fair in this, isn't it?
To be clear, members, that scenario, that would apply to any such scenario, not to a particular application that may hypothetically or otherwise have been discussed this evening. Thank you.
So on that basis, there was a development. Are we allowed to talk about developments that have already been passed in situ? Is that allowed?
Rather not, there's no need to do that. It's just because they've been passed, they're not in the public domain anymore. So if we could just keep it all hypothetical, that'd be preferred. Thank you.
So say there's another hypothetical development, say circular 550 properties. Oh, no, it's definitely not, no. And just say it's within the city walls again, I don't know, potentially near a motorway. So with regards to this development, there's risk that this hypothetical development, where there was a push for additional affordable homes and there was a push for the 20% with planning policy, this hypothetical development ended up not having to do any affordable homes. And I think it went, hypothetically went through to the planning inspector. Is that the same sort of risk that this could happen on this situations, or is that something completely different?
So in my example, is in the introduction, where we have a scheme that has a 20% planning policy affordable homes delivery plus an additional 10% delivery of affordable homes funded by Homes England funding, because the whole of that affordable homes needs to be delivered, it would mean that none of the scheme would be delivered. because it was unable to be delivered because if we continue to require all of the affordable homes to be delivered by way of a Section 106 agreement. So it wouldn't be a case that the scheme would be delivered without the affordable homes. The delivery of the affordable homes, because it's within the planning committee resolution, is an inherent part of the planning consent. So the consent can only go forward if all of the elements are delivered. So if we are unable to deliver the additional affordable homes, the whole of the scheme, as far as I'm aware, would be unable to be delivered, and any scheme would need to come back before planning committee and be reconsidered under different terms.
Thank you, Councillor Chambers. Councillor James.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, can I just ask for clarification from something you said at the beginning of the meeting, which was that this, as I understood it, this only applied where it was a percentage of affordable homes and would not apply to developments where 100% of the homes were affordable. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yes, you're perfectly correct. For some reason, the Homes England funding requirements allow additional homes to be funded, providing there are no market homes at all on the scheme. I don't understand the logic behind that. Those are the rules of the Homes England funding requirement.
I've got a question. What happens with a development that's being proposed by a volume house builder where there will be presumably a small number of affordable homes on the site? Is that covered in the same way or not?
So yes, if there is a proposal in the planning committee resolution, or if the planning committee resolution sets out an additional delivery of affordable homes above the 20% planning policy requirement at the moment, and if the additional homes are to be funded through Homes England, then it's likely that that scheme would be picked up in the same way.
Right, any more questions? Yes, Councillor Gravel.
No, it's not a question, but just remind you that I did move. I don't know if anybody seconded it, that we write to Homes England and say, what's the score? We're not happy. How do you justify it? And also, at the end, we would really welcome the opportunity if you could come to Gloucester and have a look at some of our schemes. And at the same time, we could lobby them for even more funding. That's what we've done in the past. And we've shown them some key projects, like City Homes are running and all the rest of it. Made a bit of a fuss of them, shown them a bit of TLC. And I think that this is an ideal opportunity to say, not only are we concerned about the lack of finance, tap being turned off, but we would love to show you some of the positive work that we're doing in new affordable homes, social housing, all that sort of stuff. And I really think, it's up to other authorities whether they do that. I think Neil said he wasn't aware of any other authorities having these sort of meetings. That's up to them. But I think if there is a queue, let's be first in it.
Is anybody, yes, Councillor Wiederhold is prepared to second that. We're going to vote on that, please. That a letter goes to Homes England?
Well, I'm just saying yes.
Yeah.
Unanimous, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, can I just be the officer in consultation with yourself, Chair? Members happy with that? Yeah, okay. The minute can record that.
Councillor Lewis?
Yeah, can I just add that the biggest bit that's worrying to me is we weren't told about it. We had to find it out of a third party. And I think that should go into the letter as well. If they'd have said to us, we're changing our rules, we're telling everybody, well, fine, that's fine. But then we had to find it out by the back door, which doesn't seem particularly correct by me.
Yes, I have to say I agree, and it's a period of change anyway with regard to planning. And this is something else that council have to take on board, and not to be told about it directly is very poor. Any more comments? Councillor Gravel.
That's already come back. And the point you've just made there, I mean, it's surprising, I think, that Homes England, in their conversations with Neil and his colleagues, haven't run that past us before. Not quite sure whether there's a breakdown in communication there, Neil.
Yeah, that's what we're writing the letter.
coming down the track, you might want to take account of it. Have we not heard from them on this?
I'm not aware whether we've had those specific conversations or not, Councillor Wells. I'm not aware.
Councillor Chambers.
In the officer's professional opinion, do they think this is a good policy change, or do they think it's not generally? If I'm allowed to ask that question, just professional, you're professional, I'm not, so I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I think the risk of potentially losing the delivery of affordable homes is a considerable risk to us and other authorities. So hence why there's a report before committee this evening.
It's really bad news across.
Councillor Gravels, do you want to add something else? You were just saying? Oh, okay. Councillor Harris.
Just saying, you mentioned for the letter to go around between the officers and the chair, just wondering whether we should loop in the cabinet member for housing in those discussions as well.
Right, we've had quite lengthy discussions on this. Are we prepared to move to a vote on this proposal? Yes, anybody seconding the vote? Thank you. All members in favour? Is that unanimous, I believe? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. That's just to confirm that both elements of the resolution have been passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to delegated decisions. Everybody's seen the delegated decisions. Are you happy to note those? Yes? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving to the end of the meeting. Next meeting is Tuesday, the 4th of February. And that's the end of this evening's meeting. Thank you very much.